History isn't written in books. It's carved in the scars of those who survived it. We've been told the legends. We've been fed the myths. But the truth has been buried under centuries of silence. Today, we dig it up. This is Shadow Files. What if I told you the United States government once considered staging terrorist attacks on its own people? Not as a conspiracy, not as a rumor, but as an official military plan, signed, typed, and approved at the highest level. This was called Operation Northwoods, and if it had happened, history would have changed forever. It was the early 1960s. The Cold War was burning. The Soviet Union and the United States were locked in a deadly standoff. And just 90 miles off the coast of Florida, Cuba had become America's newest nightmare. Fidel Castro had taken power, and Washington feared Cuba was becoming a Soviet launchpad. The U.S. wanted Castro gone, but they needed something first. A reason, a justification, something the public would support. And that's when the unthinkable was proposed. Deep inside the Pentagon, top military leaders drafted a classified document. Its purpose? To create a pretext for war against Cuba. But the methods they suggested were terrifying. The plan proposed staging violent incidents and blaming them on Castro. Not overseas, not in secret, but in public. Some of the ideas included fake terrorist attacks in American cities, hijacked planes, bombings, even the deaths of innocent civilians, all designed to spark outrage and force the U.S. into war. This wasn't a movie script, it was real, and it had a name, Operation Northwoods. The documents describe scenarios that sound impossible, until you realize they were written by America's own Joint Chiefs of Staff. One proposal suggested blowing up a U.S. ship and blaming Cuba. Another suggested creating fake evidence of Cuban attacks to convince the world Castro was the aggressor. They even considered replacing a civilian passenger plane with a drone, then staging its destruction so it would look like Cuba shot it down. Imagine the headlines. Cuba attacks American civilians. Castro declares war. The public would demand retaliation. And that was the goal. Manufactured war through manufactured terror. Here's the most chilling part. This plan wasn't just discussed. It was formally presented to the Secretary of Defense, and it reached the desk of President John F. Kennedy. The military wanted approval, they wanted action, but Kennedy saw the danger. He rejected Operation Northwoods completely, and soon after, the general behind it, Lyman Lemnitzer, was removed from his position. The plan was buried, locked away, and hidden for decades. The public never knew. Operation Northwoods stayed classified until the 1990s, when declassified documents confirmed it was real. Not speculation, not theory, a real U.S. government proposal to stage attacks and blame another country to justify invasion. And it forces a terrifying question. If this was considered once, what else has been considered and never revealed? The Cold War wasn't just fought with missiles, it was fought with secrets. And Operation Northwoods proves something chilling. Sometimes the most dangerous threats aren't foreign enemies, but the plans made behind closed doors. Most people have never heard of this file, but now you have. Welcome to Shadow Files. Subscribe, because the next story is even darker.